We welcome in our Blitz football analyst, Dusty Dvorak. Thanks for being here. We're going to talk OU and some changes, and we're in the offseason and all that kind of good stuff. Dean, what's on your mind here?
Well, let's talk about Brent Venables first. It was, he had, 8 signees, I believe, in the mid-year Under Armour All-American game down in Orlando. But his first season saw a major roster overhaul, similar this time around. OU's added some, I don't know what it is now, Dusty, 8 or 9, I think, to the portal. Most recently, Wake Forest defensive lineman Rondell Boathyard. You also have veteran Miami, Ohio, offensive lineman Caleb Schaefer, who looks to be a guy who's going to get a lot of playing time. Biggest news, maybe the announcements that quarterback Dylan Gabriel will return and that #1 receiver Marvin Mims is opting out for the draft. OU really needs receiver help and a decision on if and who will coach receivers in 23. It's sounding like the highly regarded Texas Tech receivers coach Emmett Jones likely to remain in Lubbock. Now, if you talk about Gabriel, let's take a look at some of the video there. The Gabriel confirmation was anticipated, but as time went by, the notion that OU might be looking at a true freshman starting quarterback was at least worth consideration. Gabriel was great in the bowl game and really good in several games, but he's not as physically gifted or talented as the last 4 quarterbacks preceding him. So forget the comparisons and create ways to win. If he and Levy, the offensive coordinator, can build off the bowl game success, he could win a lot of games in 23. One unlikely but possible grenade, one SEC source tells me Nick Saban likes Levy's offense and that he might hire him as OC. Low chance. Guys, I expected Mims to leave after a brief chat I had with him following that Texas Tech game, so that's not a surprise, but that loss will hurt.
Yeah, it certainly will, won't it, Dusty?
No question. Look, Dylan Gabriel, we expected that. We've talked about on here. Fully expected him to come back. I think that's huge for a lot of reasons. Doesn't rush Jackson Arnold into a spot where he has to play. It's a luxury. You got depth now at that position. The continuity and coming back second year familiarity. At times, Dylan played great. Other times, wasn't as great. If he can put that together, got a chance to be a really good second year in Norman next season. Marvin Mims, just like you, Dean, had a chance to talk with him. You could kind of tell if the NFL gave him any indication he should come out, he was going to go ahead and come out. Had a strong bowl game. Makes a ton of sense. And the real question is, what do you do to replace Marvin Mims? And I think it's pretty easy to me. I look at the roster as they have it right now. A couple of freshmen we raved about coming out of fall camp. What about Jaden Gibson, the big 6'5" wide receiver, is supposed to be a deep vertical threat out of Florida. Nick Anderson. These guys really need to dig in here in winter conditioning, spring football, and need to really develop and take that next step. Obviously, they're going to continue to hit the transfer portal. They have this entire time. They got a kid from Bowling Green that came in, big 6'7" wide receiver. A couple other receiver. Anthony out of Michigan, I think they've got a real chance at. They're going to continue to try to hit that. But what about whatever happened to developing your own talent as opposed to always going out and getting other talent? I think Oklahoma would be just fine, and I wish Marvin Mims nothing but the best. He was a great Sooner, great football player, and I think he's got a chance to be a pretty good pro.
And a great kid, a young man, and just cool as they come.
Yeah.
I mean, just a really great
How about
guy.
developing some of these guys coming in? You've got some guys coming in here.
Well, I mentioned earlier, Oklahoma had 8 signees in the midweek Under Armour All-American game in Orlando. 7 played. Much of the attention on that 5-star quarterback, of course, Jackson Arnold. He was named this week Texas Gatorade Player of the Year, the Dinkin Geyer leader. Didn't have a good team around him in this game, but still threw the only TD pass and was the team's leading rusher and passer. He ranked the 7th best national product by a couple of groups. Reports from veterans all week, media people that know what they're doing, and some football people from practice were that the 6'1", 6'2", 200-pounder was the best all week. Calm, leader, mobile, zip, accuracy, release, anticipation. Going to be interesting at some point in comparing how Texas Arch Manning and others compare after a season in college. And then the 5-star edge rusher, I know you love him, Dusty. PJ Adebawore dominated all week, got a sack and pressures in the game. By all accounts, PJ is a freak with huge upside. I'm told not to expect on day 1 for him to be a polished guy and to come in and just take over, but he probably will be pretty soon.
Great speed off the edge. Another guy who popped to me, Lewis Carter, linebacker, flying around, making tackles. They need some defensive help. Maybe some of those guys, Peyton Bowen as well, could step in and help to bolster this roster defensively.
Let's hear from some of these future Sooners.
Coach Venables, he's getting this guy next year. It's going to be I feel like it's going to be an instant change when we get there. All his guys is coming, and I'm honored to be a part of that class.
I want to kind of kind of be the one to kind of put him on the map. You know, obviously it's the first class for this new coaching staff, and I think this class overall is just gonna make it just, you know, skyrocket.
Relax, enjoy this last week. You know, I'm gonna be saying a lot of goodbyes to people this week, so it'll be sad, but I'm excited for this next part of my life.
I got mine. Nah, we ain't gonna relax. We got college workouts. We gotta prepare, get ready.
He's right.
Yeah. See, you trying to take it lax around here. We don't do that.